Hey everybody, and welcome to English with Narayana.
Hi, everyone.
So today we're going to be talking about something that I know a lot of you are probably struggling with.
Yeah.
And that is, that feeling of nervousness or anxiety when you have to speak English.
Mm-hmm.
Um, have you ever felt that way?
I'm sure many people have, yeah.
Like, you want to speak English, but you kind of get scared or nervous or you worry about what people are going to think.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you have, let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah, let us know your experiences.
What that feels like for you.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, it's totally normal.
It's super common, yeah.
It's totally normal to feel that way.
A lot of people go through, it's a natural part of, I think, learning a new language.
Yeah, it's part of the process,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we want to talk about why that is, and then we're going to give you some tips to help you overcome that.
Okay, sounds good.
So why is it that so many English learners feel this way?
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons is the fear of making mistakes.
Yeah.
A lot of learners feel like they need to speak perfectly
Right.
and that they're going to be judged if they make any errors.
Yeah. And that's something that I've noticed a lot, especially with people who are learning English,
Yeah.
is they are so afraid of making a mistake
Yeah.
that they're just afraid to even speak at all.
Right. They're so worried about getting it wrong
Right.
that they don't even try.
Yeah, and you know what? It's almost like they feel like they're going to be judged or laughed at
Mm-hmm.
if they make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be really embarrassing.
Say nobody wants to feel embarrassed.
Yeah, you don't want to be that person who's like, messing up all the time and everyone's laughing at you.
Right.
So it's understandable that people feel that way.
Yeah.
But the thing is that mistakes are a natural part of learning.
Absolutely.
You're not going to learn if you don't make mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes when they're learning something new, right?
That's how we get better.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah, embrace the mistakes.
Embrace them.
Yeah.
Because every time you make a mistake, it's an opportunity to learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's an opportunity to improve.
And you know what I would even encourage people to think about?
What's that?
Is when you make a mistake, try to smile.
Okay.
Try to laugh it off.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's just a mistake.
Right.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Now you know better.
Now you know better.
So it's a good thing.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, guys.
Absolutely.
It's all part of the process.
It is.
Now, another reason why I think a lot of English learners feel nervous is because they feel like their English isn't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have a big enough vocabulary or their grammar is not perfect.
Right.
And that can be really discouraging.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Right.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Nobody is born speaking perfect English.
Nobody's born speaking any language perfectly.
Right.
We all have to learn.
We all have to learn.
Yeah.
So don't compare yourself to native speakers
Mm-hmm.
or to people who have been learning English for a lot longer than you.
Yeah, don't worry about them.
Just focus on your own progress.
Focus on your own journey.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah.
Celebrate the small victories.
That's right.
Every
little step counts.
Like if you learn a new word today,
Yeah.
that's a victory.
Celebrate it.
If you're able to have a short conversation in English,
Yeah.
that's a victory.
Be proud of yourself.
Celebrate those things.
Absolutely.
Because it's important to acknowledge your progress.
Yeah. Recognizing those small wins
Right.
can really help you stay motivated.
And stay motivated and keep going right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, don't get discouraged if you feel like your English isn't good enough yet.
Yeah. It takes time.
It takes time. And it takes practice.
And you're going to get there.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
And another thing that I think can make people feel nervous is, the feeling of like freezing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like your mind goes blank
Oh, yeah.
and you can't think of the word that you want to say.
That happens to everybody, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in a new language.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
That's totally normal, too.
Absolutely.
It happens to native speakers.
It happens to me all the time.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad about it.
Don't beat yourself up about it.
Don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah.
It's just a normal part of speaking.
It's just how our brains work sometimes.
Yeah.
And, there are some things you can do when that happens.
Oh, yeah. What are some things you can do?
Well, first of all, don't panic.
Okay.
Just take a deep breath
Okay.
and try to relax.
Okay.
And then you can try to describe the word that you're looking for.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Like, if you can't think of the word apple,
Mm-hmm.
you can say it's a round fruit.
Yeah.
It's red or it's green.
It's sweet.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
And people will probably understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, they can usually figure it out.
Right.
from the context.
Or you can use a synonym,
Yeah.
like a word that has a similar meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't think of the word happy, you can say joyful.
Right.
Or you can say cheerful.
Yeah. Or you could even just say, I'm feeling good.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So there are ways to work around it.
There are always ways to communicate. Yeah.
And I think that's important to remember is that communication is the goal.
That's the whole point.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not about speaking perfectly.
Not about being grammatically perfect.
Right.
Or having a huge vocabulary.
Right. It's about getting your message across.
It's about connecting with other people.
Right.
And sharing your ideas.
So don't let the fear of, making mistakes or not being perfect stop you from communicating.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Don't let that hold you back.
Don't let that hold you back.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we talked about some of the reasons why English learners might feel nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about some tips to help you overcome that nervousness.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tip number 1 is to practice speaking English as much as possible.
I think that's the most important tip.
It is the most important tip.
Yeah. The more you practice,
The more comfortable you'll become.
the more confident you'll feel.
Right.
And the easier it will get.
Yeah. So find opportunities to speak English every day.
Yeah. Even if it's just for a few minutes.
Even if it's just for a few minutes.
Yeah, every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
So, talk to yourself in the mirror.
That's a good one.
Talk to your pet
Or your plants.
or your plants.
Yeah.
Talk to your family members if they speak English.
Mm-hmm.
Or find a language partner online.
Yeah. There are lots of great websites and apps.
Yeah, where you can connect with other English
Yeah.
learners.
And practice together.
And practice together.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of opportunities out there to practice.
Yeah, you just got to look for them.
You just got to look for them.
Yeah.
And make it a habit.
Yeah, make it part of your daily routine.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like you brush your teeth every day.
Mm-hmm.
You should be speaking English every day.
That's a good analogy.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so tip number 2 is to focus on communication, not perfection.
That's a really important one.
It is a really important one.
Yeah, because I think a lot of learners get caught up
In trying to be perfect.
in the grammar.
Right.
And, they want to use all the big words.
Okay.
And they want to sound like a native speaker.
Right.
But that's not the most important thing.
Yeah, it's not the most important thing.
Yeah.
The most important thing is to be able to communicate your ideas.
Yeah. To get your message across.
To get your message across.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to use simple language.
Yeah. Simple grammar.
Simple grammar.
Yeah. And even if you don't know the exact word,
Right.
you can always try to explain it.
Try to explain it a different way.
Yeah.
Or use a synonym.
Mm-hmm.
Or, just get your point across.
Yeah. Find a way to make yourself understood.
Right.
Yeah.
And people will appreciate the effort.
They will.
They
will.
They'll appreciate that you're trying to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry so much about being perfect.
Yeah. Just relax.
Just relax.
Yeah. Have fun with it.
Have fun with it.
Yeah. Enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Okay, tip number 3.
Okay.
This one's a little bit more challenging, but I think it's really helpful.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Try to think in English.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one,
Yeah.
but that's a good one.
It's tough, but it's really helpful.
It is.
Because if you're always translating in your head
Mm-hmm.
from your native language to English,
Right.
it's going to slow you down.
It's going to make it harder to speak fluently.
It's going to make you feel less confident
Yeah.
because you're always thinking about the grammar rules
Mm-hmm.
and, trying to make sure that you're translating everything correctly.
Right.
So if you can train your brain to think in English,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to make speaking so much easier,
It's going to make it more natural.
more natural, more fluent.
More automatic.
Not more automatic, yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Well, there are a few different ways.
Okay.
One thing you can do is to start labeling things around your house in English.
Okay.
So, put a sticky note on the table that says table.
Okay.
Put a sticky note on the chair that says chair.
Okay.
And so every time you see those objects, you're seeing the English word.
Yeah.
And it's starting to kind of sink into your brain.
Oh.
Another thing you can do is to try to describe your daily activities in English.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're brushing your teeth,
Yeah.
you can think to yourself, I am brushing my teeth.
Okay.
When you're making breakfast, you can think, I am making breakfast.
Okay.
Just try to narrate your life in English.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah. And it sounds silly.
Yeah.
But it really helps.
It helps to kind of get your brain thinking in those patterns.
Exactly.
In those English patterns.
Yeah.
Cool.
And another thing you can do is to read English books and articles.
Okay.
And watch English movies and TV shows with subtitles.
Right.
And just try to immerse yourself in the language as much as possible.
Got it.
Yeah.
So surround yourself with English.
Surround yourself with English.
Yeah. And eventually it'll start to seep into your brain.
It'll become more natural.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so tip number 4.
All right.
Use positive self-talk.
Oh, that's important.
It's very important.
Yeah, because a lot of times
Our own worst enemy.
we are, yeah,
Right.
we're very critical of ourselves.
We are. We're very critical of ourselves.
Yeah.
And we tend to focus on the negative.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we make a mistake, we beat ourselves up about it.
Yeah, we dwell on it.
We dwell on it.
We tell ourselves we're not good enough.
Right.
We're never going to learn.
Right. And that's not helpful.
Not helpful at all.
It's not helpful at all.
No.
So instead of doing that,
Yeah.
try to focus on the positive.
Focus on your progress.
Focus on your progress.
Yeah.
And tell yourself that you're doing a good job.
That you're improving.
That you're improving.
That you can do it.
That you can do it.
Yeah, because you can.
Yeah, because you can.
You absolutely can.
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
So, be
Right.
your own cheerleader.
Be your own best friend.
Be your own best friend.
Yeah.
You know,
Encourage yourself.
encourage yourself.
Support yourself.
Support yourself.
Yeah.
And believe in yourself.
Because you're capable of amazing things.
You are.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget that.
We do.
We get so caught up in the negativity,
The self-doubt.
the self-doubt,
The criticism.
the criticism,
Yeah.
that we forget to celebrate our accomplishments,
Mm-hmm.
and we forget to, acknowledge how far we've come.
Right.
So it's important to do that.
Absolutely.
It's important to, pat yourself on the back sometimes.
Yeah. Give yourself a high five.
Give yourself a high five.
Yeah, you deserve it.
You deserve it. You're working hard.
You are. You're
You're
putting in the effort.
You're putting in the effort.
So be proud of yourself.
Be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
So positive self-talk,
Super important.
super important.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, tip number 5,
Okay.
don't be afraid to ask for help.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a good one.
Yeah, because sometimes we think we have to do it all on our own,
Right.
but that's not true.
It's not true at all.
There are so many resources available.
There's so many people who want to help you.
Yeah.
Just
Don't be shy.
don't be shy. Reach out.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
If you're struggling with a particular grammar point,
Mm-hmm.
ask your teacher.
Ask a tutor.
Ask a friend.
Ask Google.
Ask Google. Ask anyone who you think might be able to help you.
Yeah, there are tons of online forums and communities
Yeah.
where you can connect with other English learners
Where you can ask questions and get help.
and get support.
And get support. Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's no shame in asking for help.
absolutely not.
In fact, it's a sign of strength.
It shows that you're committed to learning.
Right. It
Yeah.
shows that you're taking your learning seriously.
Yeah, and that you're willing to do what it takes to improve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask for help.
Ask away.
Ask away. Okay, so those are our 5 tips to help you overcome your nervousness when speaking English.
Awesome.
Do you have anything else to add?
I think the most important thing to remember is that speaking English is a skill,
Yeah.
just like any other skill.
Like playing the guitar.
Yeah, like playing the guitar, like riding a bike,
Like cooking.
like cooking.
Yeah.
It takes time and practice to get good at it.
It takes time and practice.
So be patient with yourself.
Be patient with yourself.
And don't give up.
And don't give up.
Yeah. Keep practicing.
Keep practicing.
Keep learning.
Keep learning.
And you will eventually reach your goals.
You will get there.
You will.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
It was my pleasure.
We hope that this has been helpful for you.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
We'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.
Yeah, and be sure to check out our other videos on the English with Narayana channel.
Yeah, we have lots of great content to help you improve your English.
Lots of great content to help you learn English.
Yeah.
So we hope to see you there.
See you next time.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.